What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm doing a review of a 2025 set this time. Here we have the Marvel Iron Man Mech versus Ultron, which is pretty cool to see. I mean, to get Ultron, but once again, it's another Iron Man Mech, which I think this is the third one. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So it says it has 101 pieces on the box here. Just want to look at it real quick. It's a very small box. But it's interesting to point out that it does show the piece count, which is something new, I think, for like the boxes in 2025, at least here, because I'm sure it's been doing that for a while for like other parts of the world, but where I get my sets, it doesn't usually have the piece count. So it's interesting to see that here, because I think it's just something that's for other 2025 sets. Maybe they're just changing where they like import the sets from, but you can see here another 2025 set also has the piece count on it. So I don't know, maybe this is just something new to see. It's weird for me to see. I don't know, but like, I just wanted to point out. So here's the Iron Man of the set. It's pretty cool. I believe this is a new print for the helmet, but the body is one that we've seen for other Avengers comic whatever sets before, at least from the past year, but it's still cool to get. But yeah, this is really the only new part, but you can see the rest of the figure looks pretty good. I like how comic booky-esque it looks a bit cartoonish in a way. But yeah, I think the main problem here is just the arms, which don't match the color of the gold on the printing here, which I think you can clearly see the difference. This is a bit more of the pearl gold. This is a bit of a shinier one, which doesn't really match. You can see how the print looks on the back, which you can see that gold lining there does not match the one here. But yeah, the helmet, it's the newer style of the Iron Man helmet, which you've seen since 2022. I don't mind it anymore, but I think the printing on it just looks a bit weird. Like, just the face mask looks pretty strange, but you could flip that up. It's the same old Tony Stark helmet or face print that we've been getting since 2018, which yeah, they really need to change that. I mean, it looks like Tony, but like, you know, it's been used for so long. Next figure is Ultron, which we haven't seen in I think like 10 years. Last time we got him was with the Age of Ultron sets. This is a pretty cool figure to get. You can see it's in the full metallic key silver, which is pretty nice. He's got these red blasts here, which looks pretty good. Then he's got this whole little laser part here with it's just a spring-loaded shooter attached to this little piece here, which I think actually works pretty well. So I don't mind that really. You can see the head does actually look a lot like Ultron. That looks pretty good. I like that. There's this separate attachment piece on the neck, which works pretty well. I think it was introduced for that Ultron from the Age of Ultron sets. You can see the printing on the back, which is pretty nice, but honestly, I think that the printing is kind of overdone. It looks a bit, I don't know, it doesn't look like the comic booky Ultron. It looks kind of overdone. There's too much lines on it, I think. But yeah, that's just how I feel. I think it's a bit overdone. But I mean, it's still cool to get Ultron again. It's just kind of, I don't know, it just looks kind of off. Here's the third mech of Iron Man. The first one you got was in 2020, the first wave of these mechs. Then the second one was in 2022. And then this is the third one, which I think is the most different out of all of them. I think just because of these joints that they use here, which are like a combined like shoulder and then elbow thing. So it basically removes, okay, that was not supposed to happen, but it basically removes any of the articulation that you could have for like wrists and elbows, or same with the knees. So it's just one whole piece. It can work for some things, but it also might not work depending on how you put it together. Like for example, the legs here, it looks kind of frail in a way, or like it looks kind of empty here. It looks kind of blocky. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as like say the Rocket Raccoon mech, where it looks so weird and like very skeletal. This one at least has a bit of like layering on the outside that makes it shaped like the Iron Man suit, which is pretty good. But I think the best way they've used those armored like these little joint pieces with the War Machine mech, because everything just looks decked out and covered up. It doesn't really look like there's these skeleton like joints here, and it just makes it for a really good look. This one is kind of, I think this one's just okay for me, because a part of it just looks a bit like, especially on this side, looks very, I don't know, skeletal, or like, you know, it looks kind of blocky in a way. The arms, not so much, but yeah, it just doesn't feel as cool and layered out like the War Machine mech does, which I think is just the best Marvel mech that they've done. But this one's just, I think, an okay one for me, but it still works pretty decently. It makes sense for Iron Man to have, because it's a mech, which has been getting a bit repetitive, but you know, it works the same way. You got the joints here on the middle, which you could spin all the way around. You got the arms, here. This one's got the little hand here, and then has a little repulsor blast. This one has a stud shooter here on these two sides, and then once again using the same pieces as the ones for the legs here, which I don't really like these pieces when they're used on the mechs too much because it just takes away from the articulation, but it works well when it's on, like, you know, on other sets, but not really with the mech unless you like really cover it up. The front here with this little chest piece is actually printed, which is really good. I hope they keep doing this for like other sets and just print it because it looks really nice and it matches the colors and everything. But you pull down this little piece and then there's a little seat area for your This is also a new piece that was introduced with this newer line of mechs, I think in 2023. But yeah, now you can have your figure fully sitting down, you cover them up, and it actually does look pretty snug and not half bad. I actually quite like how that looks. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the Iron Man mech. I guess you could look a bit at the legs maybe. This is how it looks on the bottom. There's a bit more of those blasts here. And this is what it looks on the back. Nothing too much else going on there. I want to bring up the instructions, which, I mean, from the front of it, I mean, it just looks like a normal instructions, but they're bringing back something that we haven't seen in a while, which is to have an ad for sets. Like, I haven't seen it, so it's pretty cool to get, but you can see other Marvel sets here, which, I don't know, I hope they keep doing this. I just like looking at those in the back. But yeah, for the build itself, I think it's pretty good. I like the mech quite a bit. I just think it's a bit like skeletal looking. Like comparing it to the War Machine mech, which I think is honestly just the best mech they've ever put out for this line. Like everything just looks so layered out and well put together. You can even feel the weight. It's so much heavier than this, and it looks so good. Like this looks so much better. Like everything looks pretty complete. This one, not super, like you can see just exposed parts here, and it just looks a bit, I guess, bony in a way. I guess I don't really know what the term is, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could have just been done a little bit better. And then this is just another Iron Man mech, which you've gotten 3 times. It's the 3rd time, so it doesn't make it too special. But of course, the best part is getting Ultron and just getting 2 figures in such a cheap set. I think it's great. The only problem is I think Ultron is quite overdone. I think there's just too many lines on him. I think they should have stuck with the more comic-y, armored-like. This one just looks a bit, I don't know. It doesn't look like a Marvel character. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It looks a bit like a knockoff. Like, not even kidding. I kind of wish it had more like armored plating instead of all of these lines here. But yeah, I think that's just like a bit of a minor complaint, but it's cool to see Ultron back. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of this set. I'll see you for more videos. Don't forget to destroy the subscribe button and destroy the like button and do all those good things. And have a great day, guys. Merry Christmas.